I got to admit, I was very worried by the Punisher of Resentment, whom I will refer to as Doggy Boy from now on. When his mechanics were revealed during a recent developer's note, my thoughts immediately went to the immortal classic by Laura Holmer, This is Cancer. But to my pleasant surprise, his mechanics are, for the most part, fairly manageable, and don't require an excessive amount of uber-specific save data farming, unless you want to get a giga score. For mega tryhards, the seasonal bonuses clearly favor combatants like Hademari and Diana, giving bonuses to damage and extra damage of Passion and Void cards. When a card is discarded, linked cards get a damage bonus, and we also get a final score bonus based on how many Season 3 save files we're using. Season 3 Chaos is pretty bonkers, so you won't use save files anyway. The Omega gimmick of this Rift is a defensive shield that blocks most of the damage we can deal to Doggy Boy. The way to remove it is fairly unusual. We need to build stress on our combatants, let them go through trauma, and once they break from it we can deal damage. Luckily and conveniently, when one of our combatants enter trauma, our hand is instantly filled with break recovery cards. And once we recover, we can deal proper damage. The first half is extremely straightforward, while Diana-centric teams are clearly favored. Since the shield mechanic isn't present in this stage of a fight, you can pretty much use any damage dealer to stomp on the boss without worrying too much. The second half is the tricky part. On turn 1 you can deal much damage to the boss due to his shield. If you keep attacking him, after his first action he will fill your hand with Garbo, and at this stage it's difficult to score significant points, but you should still hit it to increase your score. Turn 2 is the same. Doggy Boy will start with one attack, and after that he'll threaten to keep hitting you every few actions. You can abuse cards with haste, but turn 2 is another fairly tame turn. On turn 3 it's where things change completely. His attack now becomes a trauma-inducing one. After his first hit, he will keep repeating the same trauma-inducing action. While this sounds bad, it's what will allow us to break his shield. The ultimate curveball the developers threw at us is that on his turn you want to play a ton of cards in order to let the boss traumatize you. But if your combatants have the gear that increases the enemy action count, it's going to take much longer for the boss to initiate his first attack. If you're struggling a bit to have good turns here, it's probably due to having too many ways to increase the enemy action count. There are a few ways to play around it. On turn 2 you could hit the boss a bunch of times, fill your hand with trash, and use that trash to get closer to the point where the enemy starts building your stress. Or you could simply cycle through your cards while avoiding to play those that deal damage, since you want to save those cards for when the shield is down. Once we get in trauma mode, our hand of cards is gone, it gets replaced by recovery cards, we recover and we draw a new hand. This is when you want to go all out on damage, throwing everything you have at the boss. Now the boss cycle repeats from turn 1, so you can just repeat the same process and boost your score. Now that we talk about Doggy Boy's mechanics, let's talk about teams. First half, anything works, although if you have Diana, this is a great time to play her. You can use a very generic save file with a few follow my hearts and the boss will be done in no time. Adelheid doesn't see much play in the Rift, and it's surprising considering that she's just been released. Unfortunately, her kit doesn't really do much against Doggy Boy, so at least you won't feel FOMO for her. In the second half, things get more strict. Do you have a Hademari? If you don't, then don't worry about the leaderboard. The single nuke build won't do much against this boss. You will be doing much better by spamming Sword Rains that activate Effulgent Blades from the graveyard. While I'm not a huge fan of the Dream World playstyle, it's undeniable that its performance is bonkers, especially for the effort that it takes to play it, and having 3 combatants with that build is going to help immensely. The most used combatant along Hademari is Cassius, as he has access to the 4 morale Epiphany on Dream World, as well as providing bonuses via his quest card and some extra draw. Nia can easily build stress by discarding cards, which means she will get traumatized quicker, which means that you will be able to break the enemy shield faster. So that's another trick that you can use to improve your score. Dreamworld decks cycle themselves very quickly. This is a huge bonus against an enemy like Doggy Boy who discards her hand mid-turn. Getting a Dreamworld save file isn't difficult, but it can be quite time-consuming. Since it's such a key mechanic against this Rift boss, and also makes auto-play farming faster and easier, I will make a video about it soon. I'm always thankful that the threshold to get all rewards from Rift is very low. I'm not one to worry about the leaderboard. For me, the Rift is mostly one and done, and I'll try some gimmick teams rather than going for a score. Thanks to Doggy Boy for not being excessively toxic. It could have been way worse than this. Good luck on your Rift clears, guys.